Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your November 30th, 2020 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be located in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right, let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra. How will Libra be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. Give me just 1 minute here. There we go. Forgot to plug in the camera. That would have been bad. Okay, beautiful. Now the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And we're going to see how all of this correlates to what the moon has to offer. And this is a really exciting moon because it is the last lunar eclipse of the year, and it is the last solar eclipse of the year on the 14th of December, which is when the new moon is. It's the last solar eclipse. And on the 30th of November is when the last lunar eclipse is. So that amplifies all this energy. So everything, it can make things absolutely intensely beautiful, but it can also make things a little bit more on edge. So just beware of it. So we start with the Wheel of Fortune. Then we have the Three of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Page of Pentacles, which is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Then we have the Three of Pentacles. The repeat of the number 3 has divinity with you. The Three of Cups, you have three times. That's high connection to divinity during this time. You have the Knight of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. This connects you with the full moon in December, which is on December 29th. And the full moon is in Cancer right here. So this is going to be a a warrior time, but a time where you step into your power, you step into defending yourself, knowing what it is that you want, what it is that you desire. You have the moon coming forward, so this moon and this moon cycle is absolutely intense. This also is Pisces energy, a time frame of February 19th to March 20th. You have the Empress, now you have 4 times, so that's absolutely intensely beautiful. Then you have the Lovers, which represents Gemini in the major arcana, time frame July 21st, there we go, to June 20th, but also the full moon is in Gemini. So this connects you very powerfully with this full moon in Gemini. Then we have the 8 of Cups and the 8 of Swords. The repeat of the number 8 has you connected with the divine feminine. The repeat of the number 8 also has this being a very serious time for you, but also luck is on your side during this time. 8 is a good luck number. Okay. So there's a lot going on here, and there's a sense of you going deeper, which absolutely makes sense, because with this full moon, especially this full moon in Gemini, the full moon in Gemini brings fluidity of information and a renewal of self forward. And so this is also the wisdom teacher and the divine messenger. You have the sacred feminine right here bringing you these divine messages and helping you embrace what you love, what you desire, and what you need as you're moving forward. So here it says the answers you need are coming, and they most definitely are. They're coming, they're transforming you, you're seeing things more openly and more honestly. But with the full moon eclipse, the lunar eclipse, which is on the 30th of November, brings more potent energy and brings your instinctual self to a peak. It's like you're on fire. And the thing is because this lunar eclipse affects everybody. Everybody is much more in tune with their instinctual self, with what they truly desire. So it can make things much more beautiful, yes, but it can also make things a lot more raw. When you're out of harmony, it feels like, oh wow, I'm really out of harmony. When you're in harmony, it can be bliss. And I do apologize for my dogs. The eclipse then also brings great change. And this great change connects you with your spirit guides. It connects you with what you desire, what you need, what you want, what you're looking for, and what spirit is trying to show you. So you can find yourself very much in going down different paths and embracing different avenues. And this is definitely true during the solar eclipse. Now, both of these eclipses bring extraordinary personal growth and also spiritual growth. And the answers you need are coming because you're looking at things differently, because you're seeking, you're searching. And so the answers start to come your way because you're asking questions you didn't even know you had, or you didn't think you could ask. You might have thought, oh wow, that would be just terrible to say or to think. And now you're sitting here and it's like, well, why not? Why not look at things this way? Why not embrace this truth? Why not go down this path? Because again, wisdom is your teacher during this time. And Gemini is the divine messenger. And you're going to see divine messages coming your way. During this time, you also see all sides of the situation. And Libra, with your personality of liking to keep things fair, harmonious, and loving, this can be absolutely, oh, it can drive you up the wall. It really can. And it can drive those around you up the wall because they'll be like, Libra, just make a decision, pick something, stay with it. But even something as innocent as, picking what to eat, you're going to sit there and you're going to think of everybody and everything and try to make everybody happy instead of just saying, well, this is what I want. And it's not being selfish. You're going to sit there and think, well, that's being selfish. It's like, no, it's not. And that's going to be something you have to learn during this time, is that it's not being selfish. It's being powerfully you. And because you are you anyway, you will take into consideration other people. You won't sit there and be like, well, I want this and I want that, like a petulant toddler. You're going to sit there and look at the sides of the coin, but not be so caught up in trying to be just to everyone that you drive yourself crazy, because that is going to be something to be mindful of during this time. Now, because you see all sides of the story, you also get this restless energy to you. And this restless energy makes you doubt things, makes you sit there and think, well, maybe I should flip to this, and maybe I should do this, and maybe I should do that. Kind of how Gemini is known as, kind of the social butterfly, the person who can flitz from thing to thing and never really settle down, which is Gemini, or an underdeveloped Gemini, most definitely, and can seem to be Gemini on the surface. But it's because they know what they don't want. And this is going to be a time where you have to be discerning to yourself, bring in that beautiful Libra energy, be discerning and just to yourself, and know when it's time to walk away from things that you don't want. And we see that definitely coming forward here with the 8 of Cups. You're walking away from something you no longer desire, and you're kind of breaking out of the webbing and of the trapping of the mind, and sitting there and thinking, I'm caged to be this one way. It has to be just like this. There's a duality to personality during this time, and you're embracing that duality. And you have to let your personality shine through the two aspects of yourself. And it can be the two conflicting aspects of yourself. And what you're seeing here is that things start to make patterns. You start to sit there and see people and you're like, oh, well, this is what they do. This is the pattern of them. This is the pattern of me. You might find like, this is my pattern. This is what I do. This is how I act when I'm stressed, and this is how I handle things. And so you start to see things in patterns, and this connects you with truths that had once eluded you. And you're taking this information and you're absorbing things rather quickly and rather beautifully. And your subconscious and your spiritual self really start to connect. And what's happening is that your subconscious is wanting you to bring the spiritual world into your waking world. And that can be a bit of a challenge. It definitely can be. But this is part of your power during this time. This is your surrendering to the divine, to see what it is that you want, to know what it is that you desire, to look at this truth. And this is where you get this power from embracing your wisdom, from asking questions, from diving deeper. And it brings you to the new moon in Sagittarius on the 14th of December. And on the 14th of December, it says here, luck is on your side. Now, you already have luck on your side to begin with. There's already this sense of really embracing this moon, this power, what you desire. You're releasing a lot of negative energy that is no longer needing to be a part of you. And you might say, well, when did negative energy need to be a part of me? It's when we have lessons to learn, when we have things to understand, and when we have experiences that we wrote into our charts that we need to live. And sometimes you sit there and you think, well, I wouldn't have chosen this if I was like, even a little bit aware. But here you're taking aim on what you want, and you're looking at who you are, your greatness, your power, your prosperity, yourself. And you might sit there and say, oh, Dane, I'm not great. But the fact of the matter is, you are. There's a power, there's a brilliance, there's a beauty to you. And you're seeking deeper knowledge. You're seeking deeper truth, questions, answers, knowledge, the history, the heart of it all. It means so much to you. And as you take aim, you are empowered, you are emboldened, and you walk through to a new way of being. This is a new beginning. And yes, this is the last solar eclipse of the whole entire year. So this new beginning moves you into the new year, but this also moves you down paths that you didn't think you would walk. The solar eclipse, pushes you into the unknown, pushes you further into what you might not have expected. Or people say, oh no, that's not Libra. And they could be more from the truth, because it is you. This is your power. This is your grace. This is your understanding. And it brings a new outcome. It brings a new start. And as you embrace this power, it says a personal issue reaches resolution. When we come to the full moon in Cancer, which you have a very big connection with. So you have a connection from full moon to full moon. The full moon in Gemini very much impacts you, especially in the waking world, in the public arena, in the places where people see you, where you're looking at things. This moon, these answers that you need are coming. This sense of diving deeper into wisdom really defines you, really embraces you. And then we see a personal issue reaching resolution come the 29th of December. So come the 29th of December, when your heart is the warrior, as your heart is embracing this warrior mentality and has been embracing this warrior mentality, you see things start to reach a resolution. You see things start to become more clear, more passionate, more powerful, more just for you. Now, you only have one day left, in November. And this one day has the spirit animals of the snake spirit and the eel spirit. Now, the snake spirit is a time of healing. It says time to heal. The eel spirit says bring your ideas to life. Now, you might sit there and think, ooh, I don't like either one of these spirit animals. They're very, serpent-esque, or, in this case, they are serpents. So here, you're looking at things, and you might look at this healing opportunity as something that really isn't as savory to you as you would like it to be, right? Because when we heal, and especially when the snake comes in, we're shedding a skin. We're shedding a skin that no longer fits. And this brings healing opportunities. This brings change, because, of course, we are shedding the skin. This brings important transformation of self and of soul, but this also brings hyper alertness, because when a snake sheds their skin, right, they don't see as clearly as they do when they're done molting. So when you're shedding your skin and as you're releasing a part of you, you might find that you don't see things as clearly. You might feel more backed into a corner than you actually are, or it just becomes more amplified. You might feel more frustrated, more overwhelmed. And this is saying here that you are shedding the skin and you are healing. And the fact of the matter is that as you heal, you embrace this sense of truth and understanding. You embrace a new way of moving forward. Things become more open once you stop fighting, okay? The shedding of the skin, the leaving of your old self behind, and the embrace of new. You will find that things get put together more quickly, more openly, more honestly than you had thought they would. And it brings you to the eel spirit, which says, bring your ideas to life. And this is giving them a charge because your emotions are heightened. There's a strengthening to your personality, and there's a foresight. There's a way that you look forward, and you're like, oh, well, I see this. Oh, well, I get that. And it brings you right here to the spirit animals. Now, the spirit animals in November are amplified because they're on the last day, okay? They're amplified anyway, all right, because of the lunar eclipse that is coming. But they're amplified really on this last day because this is their last day of power. This is their last day of truth and transformation and coming together. So you will find that this hits you just a little bit harder. The healing, the seeing what it is that you want, the shedding of the skin, the embracing what you desire. And this brings you then to the spirit animals of December, which have the solar eclipse in there, which is going to amplify their energy. And so here we have the owl spirit and we have the horse spirit. So the owl spirit for me very much connects you with the high priestess. And the owl spirit says you see clearly now. The horse spirit says freedom is yours. So with the owl spirit, this is heightened intuition. This is seeing what others can't. Now, be it because this is the spirit animal of December, a lot of people are seeing what others cannot, which means that everybody's operating just on a little bit of a different plane, a little bit of a different wavelength. They're seeing what's important to them instead of what's important to you. So it can make things a little bit challenging at times because you're speaking the same language, yet it feels like, you're speaking different languages to each other. What you're looking at, what you're valuing, what you're seeing is not going to exactly line up this whole entire time. So you have heightened intuition, you see what others can't, and this is an announcer of change. The owl brings change that crowns you. And you're seeing beyond the deceit and the masks of others. And this is where really things start to correlate with the high priestess. You're seeing beyond the deceits, the masks. You are embracing change. You're embracing your own power. And as you do so, you are transformed. And then this leads you to the horse spirit. And the horse spirit is the driving force of what we truly want, because it says freedom is yours. Seeing what you want to be freed for and about is coming forward. You have strong emotions during this time, and this is also a balancing between your instinctual self and your logical self. So this is a balance between the two aspects of you. And as you have this balance coming forward, you're moving towards what makes you feel as if you are thriving in this world, what makes you feel alive and energized. Now, this also brings strong emotion and heightened sexual energy, especially when related to the sacred masculine. So you have two energies right here, the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, coming forward in both of them. And this can be a very highly charged, spiritually sexual time for you, which is really quite beautiful. And even if you're sitting there and saying, well, Dane, I don't have anybody to share that with. The world is weird. I can't even meet anybody, though I'd really like to. This is a time to embrace that energy within you, the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, this sense of sacredness as you move forward, because you're embracing a change of season. The wheel of fortune is coming in. You're embracing a new dawn, a new season, a new passion, a new truth. You will very well feel like you're on a roller coaster ride. You have these amazing highs, and you might have these really intense lows, and you're looking at things and you're like, wow, how am I moving forward? Where is it that I want to be? What is it that I desire? What is it that I need? And the answers, they come. But it's also because you're seeking, you're looking, you're being open and honest and brilliant with yourself. And that changes the game, and that moves you forward. So you're entering into a new season, most definitely, but expect to feel like you're on a roller coaster. These amazing highs, these scary moments where things kind of like, dip down and you're like, what's going on here? Am I moving forward the right way? This mostly happens mentally. It doesn't have to happen, though it can happen physically in the world, but you're going to see the mind kind of playing tricks on you just a bit. Just a sense of, you feel like you've gotten to where you've always wanted to be. And then the doubts, the fears, the negativity, the do I deserve this? Can I move forward this way? Starts to come in. And it connects you with the Three of Swords. This is heartbreak, pain, disappointment, upset, upheaval. These are the shames that we keep locked away in a box and we put it on the shelf in our subconscious and we say, don't come out. But because there are shames, there are nightmares, they come out. And they sit there and say, I have this power. I get to use this to bring you to your knees, to make you doubt yourself, to make you look at everything you want and think, wow, I'm really overextending myself, or I'm really aiming too high. And what we have to do here is look at the heartbreak, the pain, the disappointment of us and have a conversation with it. And I know that sounds so terribly odd, but there are so many multifaceted different layers of our existence as we move forward and of ourselves as we move forward. And a lot of our hurts, they come from when we're little, or they come from when we were vulnerable and people spoke negativity over us. They can come from our childhood or in our childhood homes. They can come from teachers. They can come from partners or ex-lovers where you sit there and they hit you when you were down. Maybe literally and maybe emotionally and physically. I mean, not physically, but, spiritually. And the scars, they stay. And so you sit there and there's a sense of thinking, I'll never be that again. And so we're always running away from our shadows, from who we were, and not looking at who we are. And when we look at who we are, we see that pain, we see that hurt, we see that disappointment. We see that person telling us, no matter how hard we tried, that you're just not good enough. And that needs to stop. Because here's the thing. They can ruin their own lives. It's theirs. But they don't get to ruin yours. They don't get to have that power anymore. They just don't. And it is time to claim your power, your grace, and your understanding. It's time to move forward in your truth. And to look at the heartbreak for what it is. Forging. The sword has been sharpened. The mind and the heart have been tested. And yes, you might have fallen to your knees. Yes, you might have doubted yourself. But now it's time to look at that pain. And just for a moment, visualize yourself in this beautiful forest, with the sun overhead, nice and warm on your back, birds singing, or wherever is a happy place for you. And then see the parts of you that bring up this shame, this hurt, this despair. And give them a hug. Sit there and say, I love you for all that you went through and all that you are and all that you had to endure. Because here's the thing, life isn't easy. What did Plato say? He said, be kind. The man standing next to you is carrying a heavier burden. He was born 400 years before the Common Era. If that statement was true then, look at its truth now. So if you can be kind to the stranger standing next to you, why cannot you be kind to yourself? With love and kindness, open up the door. You might need to journal it out, have a conversation. You might need to talk it out. Look in the mirror, look yourself in the eye and say, I'm here for you. And I will be here for you. Because it's opening you to the high priestess. It's seeing beyond the veil. Beyond the veil that life puts before us, beyond the veil that we put up as defenses, okay? It's beyond the veil of others. It's looking at other people. And instead of saying, wow, whatever I did, it was never good enough. I was always a failure in their eyes. To it changing. And you saying, they failed me. Not in this vengeful, mean, tit for tat way that we have as human beings. But this moon is really giving you answers. And they're deep soul-felt answers. Why, Libra? Because that's where you operate. You operate within the mind, yes, but you operate powerfully within the heart. And the heart and the mind coming together is when you are at your height of understanding and brilliance. And the high priestess is a quiet, sacred being. Right? There is a sense here of embracing this truth, this passion, this power. She doesn't need to be seen by everyone. She needs to be seen and honored by one, by you. And as you see behind the mask of yourself, as you see behind the mask of others, you can see where their shortcomings are and where they were and how they failed. And you can also see where your shortcomings were. It could have been you were too young. You were too much in love. You know, life, you got swept away with it. And you forgive. And you move forward in love and in caring and in understanding. And it brings you to being a student of your prosperity because you're planting new seeds now. You're planting new seeds to move you forward, to embrace your grace, to move you in power and in brilliance, to open up the doors. And as these seeds are planted, you see greater truth, greater knowledge, greater understanding. You embrace more than what you had imagined. So here with the Page of Pentacles, it's coming to things with a beginner's mind. You know, in Buddhism, they say, come to it with a beginner's mind. Don't come to it as somebody who's battle weary with the world, okay, or who's world weary. Come to it as somebody almost like a child who is looking at things with wonder, with questioning, with finding out a deeper truth. And that brings you to seeing within your heart the blessings that lay over you. They might not be the blessings that we want, but they're the blessings that we have. It is the prosperity that moves us forward. It is the bounty that guides us. It is the grace that is with us. Others will try to take credit for what you have forged and what you have done. Don't let them. They can have all the credit that they want, you know, in their own minds, but they don't get to have it in your heart. And it brings you to the Three of Cups, because as you hold true to what you have built and what you have created and what you have planted for the prosperity within yourself, the Three of Cups, these are the people who are supposed to raise their glass to us, or who raised their glass to us and said, I'm here for you. I will love you. I will cherish you. I will take care of you. Everything is okay. You know, these are the promises that either they made to us or they were supposed to have made to us as their children, as, you know, their siblings, as their best friends. You know, we were supposed to be strong and okay, but they just couldn't. They couldn't celebrate. They couldn't celebrate you. And they betrayed you. They hurt you. And the scars run deep. Emotionally, the scars run deep. And here we have them mentally, we have them emotionally, and then we have you embracing what you love. And it's interesting because 3 plus 3, of course, equals 6. So here you have this hurt and this pain equaling what you love, what you desire, and what you need. And you might say, well, how does that work? Because I am of the firm belief that we're not born knowing exactly what we want. Or maybe we are, but we lose it along the way. But then we start to realize what we don't want within this world, what doesn't fit. And this heartbreak, this pain, this disappointment isn't where you're supposed to live. It's just not. And it's showing you what you don't want, to embrace what you love, what you want, and what you're cherishing as you move forward. It brings you to the Knight of Cups. It brings you to being a defender of your heart and of your soul and of yourself, of moving forward determinedly, okay, dedicatedly, and single-mindedly towards the beauty of your heart and towards the embrace of your soul. It's also moving forward as a warrior till you get to the 29th of December, when you start to see the personal issue reaching a resolution, where you start to see things coming together, the answers really making sense. And it might not be all at once, but it can be very gentle. You know, it's kind of like when we sit there and we say, oh, miracles don't happen to me. But the fact that we got out of bed, the fact that we opened our eyes, the fact that we're breathing in the air is all little tiny miracles that make up our day. And so here it is embracing what you love. It is moving forward with your heart. It is understanding your soul. And it brings you and it amplifies the power of this moon. Because the moon is beautifully sacred, right? The moon has the ability to show us our fears, to show us what holds us back, to show us what we desire, what we need, and what we long for as we move forward. And so as we face our fears, we face the tamed side of us as human beings and the wild side, the side that we say, oh, nobody can know about this. We face the fears that make us small, but we also face the conquering of those fears that make us stand tall and proud within ourselves, within our minds, within our being. And so here, Libra, you're looking at this moon, and you're looking at its multifaceted layers. And you're sitting there and you're saying, okay, the moon is the reflection of the sun. And that's what the moon does. The moon reflects the sun's light. Of course, we do have this eclipse, so for a time it's not. But here, as we move forward, in the darkness of a new moon, during a full moon, we get a time of reflection on the power that moves us forward, on the brilliance of our soul, of what we desire, of what we need, and what we long for. And as we embrace this, we embrace ourselves. We look at what is forging us, and we look how we were forged. We see that fear, yes, it kept our ancestors alive. Our world 200 years ago, 100 years ago, is so profoundly different than our world today. Heck, our world 50 years ago to today is astoundingly different. And so we see how we evolve with fear with this. It's not the same. What we long for, what we're going after, might rudimentarily, I can't say that word, might at its core, there we go, be the same. We want happiness, we want security, we want prosperity. But how we go about getting it is so profoundly different. And so the moon shows us our fears, but it also shows us the beauty that is around us so that we can move forward from having our fears define us to having ourselves defined by our tenacity, by our spirit, by our determination forward. And that leads us then to being able to create and cultivate what we love, what we want, and what we need within the world, within ourselves. Now, this is being pregnant with opportunities. Now, this could be, seriously, for some, because we do have this heightened masculine and feminine sacred energy around, this would be a brilliant time if you're trying to conceive, okay? Just putting that out there. Spirit is saying, it's amazing energy, okay? If you're not, and if you're saying, Dane, that's not me, this is energy that is about creation, okay? This is about creating. This is a profoundly artistic time. This is a profoundly creative time. This is a time to look at your deeper desire, to look at what it is that you love and what it is that you want, and bring that energy forward and start to nurture that within you. This is also a time to start looking at your own personal health, especially gut health, okay? Because they say the gut is the second brain. So if you start looking at your gut health, if you start looking at what heals and what transforms, you are going to start to see yourself coming into alignment with you, coming into what you desire. And as you're nurturing this energy, it brings you forward to what you love, to bringing love into your world. Now, this can be falling in love, most definitely, but this is also falling in love with your life, with yourself, with your soul, with what you desire and the ways that you are moving forward. This is embracing your grace, and this is embracing your beauty. And as you do so, you start to see yourself releasing a lot of the pain that has defined you for too long, that has kind of been the anchor around your neck that was pulling you down and drowning you in the overwhelming force of emotion. And the answers come as you seek what you love, as you look at what you desire, as you're open and honest with yourself. And you might sit there and say, Dane, I have been honest with me. I know what it is that I love. I know what it is that has hurt me. And I'm trying to move forward. Then you are. If you are trying, if you are conscious, if you are aware of the essence of you, of the hurts and the pains that you carry, but also the love and the grace that is a part of you, that has been spoken over you from divinity itself, okay, and that is moving you forward towards greater passion, greater beauty, and greater truth, you will see the doors open, and you will see yourself open to them. It's letting your angels move first, opening the doors to you, opening the doors for you, and embracing your soul and yourself. And that's how we fall in love with our lives. It's not because we have what everybody else is envious of. It's because we embrace our truth and our souls. And then you have the Eight of Cups. You're walking away from what you once thought you would love. It's an ending. It's a powerful ending. And yes, it's an ending, but it's also a new beginning, because you're looking at something that no longer fits. You're looking at something that just isn't right for you. And you're saying, I'm done. I can't move forward this way anymore. And what is more, I won't be. I need to move forward for me. Not because it once fit, not because it was once right, but because it is right now. And because I am empowered and emboldened by this truth. And it brings you to the Eight of Swords. Your mind, as you start to move forward and you start to say enough is enough, will sit there and say, oh no, Libra, come back. Come back and let's be caught in this web. Come back and let's think that no matter which way we turn, no matter how we try to balance those scales, we are always going to make a mistake. You're going to be cut. Things are going to be bad. And then everything's going to be over. And this is what you have to break out of. People live their whole lives in the Eight of Swords. They just do. They live their whole lives in hurt and pain and disappointment, in anger and upset and upheaval. And it's like, enough is enough. I get to be free. And that's what you need to tell yourself. I get to be free. And when you find yourself, I am the queen of worry. When you find yourself going down that train of worry, that sense of, oh my gosh, everything's going to be terrible. It's just going to all fall apart. I can't believe I made this silly mistake and now everything's just ruined. Stop and step back. Stop and step back, because your mind is blowing it up. It is blowing it up, and it's trying to pull you down. It is. It is, because you have that fight or flight. And again, you're not on the Sahara. You're not in the wilderness, trying to survive, watching out for lions or wolves or whatever, wherever you are from. It is looking at your situation and saying, okay, this way does not lead to wolves and bears and, lions and jackals. It just doesn't. And so I get to step back and I get to breathe. And the fight or the flight is not how I'm embracing this situation. I'm stepping back. I'm looking at me. I'm saying, okay, I'm good. I'm good. And I will move forward in succinct understanding of my divine power, of my determination, and of my knowledge. And instead of being caged by all the ways that things can go wrong, because believe me, things can go wrong in ways that we haven't even imagined. And that's not to add more weight upon your shoulders, but that is simply to say that even if we are super well prepared, there's always something else that can be thrown at us. There's always something deeper that can come our way. And so it's saying, I am secure within myself, and I am stopping the worry, and I am embracing the beauty and the love that I have for my life and for me. And now let's see what the moon has to say. How will Libra be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. So this is where we're layering the moon on top of the tarot to let Luna speak for herself and to let the moon's power really come forward for you. How will Libra be affected by the November 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. Trust, change, and blossom. Oh, I love that. Trust the change, because you're blossoming into a new being, you're blossoming into a new countenance of self. Faith. Bring love into the situation. Take time to breathe out. Don't let pride get in your way. Have faith in your dreams. And don't let your past hold you back. So this is really beautiful, because it's saying here over the Wheel of Fortune, as things change, and over the Three of Swords, heartbreaks, pains, and disappointments come forward. Trust. Trust in the power of the moon, trust in the power of yourself, trust in this evolution of soul and what you desire. Because change is coming as you have the high priestess. The high priestess brings forward change greater than you could imagine and more than you could see. And it brings forward a powerful, deep, bone settling change. And it has you blossoming into the student of your prosperity, the student of your bounty, of the way that you need and want to move forward. It has you blossoming into your truth. Have faith. Have faith that you are taken care of. Have faith that there is beauty here as grace looks down on you, as you see the hurt for what it is. You know, other people's stories. And yes, it affects yours. But the fact that they couldn't stand in your corner, or, they moved on in another way. Have faith that you are moving forward in your truth and in your understanding. And it brings you to being a defender of your heart. But it also brings you to bringing love into the situation, of moving forward in love and caring and essence of self. And then you have, when the moon comes, take time to breathe out. Take time to breathe out. Take time to connect with your heart, with what it is that you truly desire. Breathe out. Don't put the weight of the world on your shoulders and say, that's where it has to stay. It's like, no. Breathe out and embrace your grace. Don't let pride get in your way as you have this creativity coming through you, as you're embracing what you love. Sit there and look at your soul and look at yourself and let beauty come forward. Let it come forward in a powerful and truthful way. Have faith in your dreams as you move away from what no longer fits. Have faith in your dreams. Have faith in yourself. Because your past doesn't get to define your present and doesn't get to be the anchor that always holds you back, that keeps you chained, that makes you feel like you're caught in a web that you can never break. Your subconscious moon message is your path. Your path is leading you to extraordinary places where you might sit there and think like, ooh, that's a bit dangerous. You have this kind of unsteady ladder, that you're climbing up, in this portal that you're walking through. But it's a new you, it's a new time, it's a new understanding. And you're embracing this change so much more purposefully, so much more openly, so much more honestly. Embrace your path. It's not taking you where you thought it would, and that's perfectly fine. The void, of course, in the subconscious. Nothing will come of this situation. Linked in the description box below are all the void of courses. You just have to go down to November and December of this time. Okay, so look at the void of courses and just know that nothing will come of this time. For the void of courses, when they come up during the moon, things will go topsy-turvy. Okay, things will go a little bit more backwards than you want them to. You'll think, oh, I'm heading this way. And then it winds up, no, not at all. So just be mindful of the void of courses. But also don't let the nagging doubt within yourself say nothing will come of it. It doesn't matter how hard I try, how much I do, nothing will come of it. Know that things happen in divine timing. We don't like that as human beings. We like things to happen in our time. Divine timing moves you forward. Divine timing transforms you. And divine timing will guide you. Remember that. Your subconscious tarot message is the Queen of Pentacles. You move from being the student of your prosperity to now being the queen. It's private, it's intricate, it's severely and passionately you. But it moves you to your prosperity. It moves you to your bounty. It moves you to what you need and what you desire. And it opens up connections that you hadn't seen before. And it opens up a beauty and a brilliance to your garden, to your truth, to your power, that is really quite astounding. And it's like, this is where I belong. And this is what I desire. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we move forward in blessings of ourselves, as we move forward in the power of our souls and the beauty of our hearts. As we know that the past, yes, has made us who we are, because it's what we had to deal with and move through and, evolve from, but it doesn't get to define us. And we are balancing the scales. We are embracing our love and our truth in a more profound and more brilliant way than we could ever have imagined. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra. And may you have a blessed moon.